There's a lot going on in the world of Magic the Gathering today. Wizards of the Coast has just added a brand new card type to Magic called Battle. On top of that, we've got multiple crazy powerhouse mythics to talk about, and there's an awesome new secret layer too.
Magic.
I am a wizard!
History.
I'm an old wizard!
The Magic Historian.
My bones hurt. Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends! I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. There is a brand new card type in Magic the Gathering. There's a 6th secret layer to talk about and spoilers too. But before we do that, I just want to let you know that the Phyrexia All Will Be One lore is rolling full steam and we're having a lot of fun with it over on my other channel, Fantasy Geographic. So at the end of the video, there will be links to go and check out the 6th story. That out of the way, let's dive into the spoilers, starting out with Atraxa. Alright my friends, the image quality on Atraxa here isn't so great because this card is actually a leak as opposed to a regular spoiler, but this is super exciting. This is the card that actually clues us into Wizards creating the new battle card type. This is Atraxa, the Grand Unification. And look at that casting cost. It is steep. 1 black, 1 blue, 1 white, 1 green, and 3. So you need 4 different colors. Slap an extra 3 on there for 7 mana. What does that get you? It gets you a 7/7 legendary Phyrexian Angel with the following abilities: Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Now those are some fun abilities, but the card advantage that you can get off of Atraxa is insane because listen to the rest of what this card does. When it enters the battlefield, you reveal the top 10 cards of your library. And for each card type that's revealed that way, you can put 1 card of that type into your hand. So for example, you would get to pick an artifact, a planeswalker, an instant, a sorcery, an enchantment, and so on, right down the line. But what's really interesting is the brackets that are at the end of this ability, because it lists some of the types that exist in Magic, and the one listed right after artifact is actually battle. So this is the first time we're ever seeing this mentioned, and it's also worth noting that the tribal card type has not really been discontinued entirely, but they're not going to be mentioning it going forwards, and I'd be surprised if they even did actually print it on any more cards. But returning to this battle concept, this is a tantalizing teaser for us. As far as I understand, and this may be inaccurate, this is one of those teaser cards where we're not actually going to get to see what a battle card type is until a future set. So most likely, we're going to get our first battle cards in March of the Machine. And there are some interesting possibilities as to what they could be. Clearly, they're going to be based around combat in some sort of scope, maybe a larger Enchant World style concept where there can only ever be 1 battle card in play. So if you put 1 out, it shifts the battlefield so it can give you different kinds of advantages. Although I don't know how they're going to differentiate that from things like enchantments. Or a battle could be something along the lines of, if you meet certain conditions, then you get different bonuses and the battle can go back and forth. So there certainly are some interesting possibilities here, but we really only know the name of the card types so far. We do know that the Phyrexians are going to make their way out into the multiverse, and the way they do so is pretty epic. If you haven't checked out the story, you probably should. The flavor for this set is epic. Take a look at the artwork on the card. It's absolutely amazing. You have Atraxa hovering there in her absolute glory. You've got a couple of angels behind her, kind of done in Norn's visage, that are her host. And then you have all these worshippers who are just reaching up in adulation. I absolutely love this. Now, let's move on to another crazy Elish Norn style mythic. This is Mondrak the Glory Dominus. And Dominuses are these crazy beasts that are actually made up out of New Phyrexia, like the plane itself, and it's not quite sure whether they have really sentient minds or not. It's a very interesting concept. So, 2 white and 2 get you a 4/4 legendary Phyrexian horror. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, create twice that many instead. It's crazy. This is a 4/4 that also just goes, hey, you get to double all your tokens. And then it gets even nuttier, where you have the activated ability that costs 2 Phyrexian white mana and 1 to basically say sack 2 other artifacts and or creatures, put an indestructible counter on them. This is wild. So you can do it for 1 mana if you want to pay 4 life at the same time. And you can sack either artifacts or creatures. There's tons of artifacts that just come out, and once they've come out and done their thing, you don't care about them anymore. You could feed them into this. There's tons of little artifact token creatures and stuff like that rolling around. Making this guy indestructible is not going to be difficult at all. It's interesting that before you make him indestructible, he's actually way more vulnerable than enchantments with this same ability. But once you make him indestructible, he's way more resilient than the original enchantments that have this style of ability. And on top of that, the 4/4 body stacked onto it, this is an incredibly powerful card. Like, this is bonkers dumb. And the artwork is super epic. What even is Mondrak, right? He's this gigantic, like, disc being. You can see there's something that looks humanoid up at the very top if you really pay attention, but he just feels like this gigantic star that's floated down from another dimension. It's absolutely crazy. And he's doing this insane shout where he's shattering these pillars. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on here. The artwork is crazy. You've got all these people who are filing towards it. I stared at this artwork for a good 5 minutes before I moved on to the next card because it is just so engrossing. I love it. It's so bizarre. It's so Phyrexian. This is what I love in a Magic card, where all by itself, even if there isn't any lore surrounding it for real, you can just imagine some insane scenario that would create this beast. It's an entire story in a card all by itself, and I heartily approve. Shall we move on to our next crazy mythic? This is Jace, the Perfected Mind. Jace has been subsumed by Phyrexia, and this is covered in the story. So he is 1 Phyrexian blue, 1 regular blue, and 2 for a 5 loyalty Jace. Obviously has the completed ability where you can pay the Phyrexian mana with life, but for every Phyrexian mana you pay life for, he comes in with 2 less counters, right? Now, +1 until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gets -3, -0. -2, target player mills 3 cards, then if a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, you draw 3 cards, otherwise you draw a card. And -X, target player mills 3 times X cards. That last ability to me feels like the craziest one. If you spend 4 mana to cast him and you just spend all of his loyalty in one go, you're milling your opponent for 15 cards straight out of the gate. And even if you do the completed version, you can go 3 mana to mill 12 cards. And that's if you don't want to actually crank him up by shrinking your opponent's creatures. The fact that you can slap him out for 3 mana and immediately neuter one of your opponent's creatures with a -3 power, that is significant. It might not be enough, but still, it's a decent way to be able to build up his loyalty. Anytime a Planeswalker has a protect themselves ability built into it, it's a nice little boost. The -2, to me, doesn't feel that hot, right? I mean, milling 3 cards, Once their graveyard's at 20, though, drawing 3 cards for -2 on top of milling them for 3, it feels great from that point forward. But I just feel like the ultimate on this guy is really impressive, and the first ability's all right. The middle one's not really, it's not really charging me up, right? The artwork, on the other hand, is epic. I love Jace with this Phyrexian menace added into him. The Phyrexian wires all sticking out of his body, ready to mess you up. His one arm that has been totally hosed by Phyrexia, and the magic that is arcing between them, right? Before we've seen Jace holding his hands out. What was it? Was it the Mind Sculptor specifically, where he had that magic flowing between his hands? Well, it's happening here again, but this time it's in Phyrexian, which is an additional layer of horror. I love it. And it's not like super obvious. If you're not paying attention and you don't know the Phyrexian language, to you it's just like, it's his magic. But if you do know the Phyrexian language, that's amazing. And him all blue like that with the red crazy tentacles of the seed core behind him, I believe it's either the Mycosynth Gardens or the seed core. It looks like the seed core to me. So it just, the red and blue contrast there looks absolutely awesome. He's got that ominous look. Man, this is some really flavorful stuff. And the story is great. Now, we have another mythic half. It's a teaser. This is the Sword of Forge and Frontier. So now we know we're getting the red-green sword finally. We've been waiting for this for forever. And clearly this is being hefted by someone in the Mirren Resistance, because the blade looks to have been treated with hex gold, which is a material that is resistant to Phyrexians. It helps to protect you against getting corrupted and also helps to slice through them like butter. And there's more about that in the story as well. Moving on, we have an awesome promo. Normally, when it comes to the bundles, Wizards does not put in promos that are super exciting because, hey, you get the bundle, you're getting that card tossed in, so it's usually like some complete bulk rare trash. But in this case, they're actually doing Phyrexian Arena, and Phyrexian Arena is a powerful card, right? 2 black and 1 for an enchantment that at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and lose a life. I love the fact that it encapsulates the concept of what black is all about. They will pay the price for power. They're willing to make sacrifices, even their own life force. It's got that necromantic or feeding your life force to demons kind of vibe, right? And then the flavor of it as well. That moment where Vraska betrays Jace. He's given up everything to come and save her. And then Phyrexia corrupts her and he falls into the hands of Phyrexia too. This is the first step of him walking towards that Planeswalker version of him we just saw. So this being included in the bundle is amazing to me, just for the fact that it's Phyrexian Arena. But then add on the fact that they're doing it in the Phyrexian language. I love these Phyrexian language cards. This is so much flavor. It is super, super epic. And speaking of epic, this is an epic uncommon. Sheoldred's Edict is really, really good. Edicts have really moved up over the days. Originally, you would get 1 black, 1 and instant speed, your opponent has to sack a creature. Sometimes it was even at sorcery speed. This one is way more customizable. You get to choose one. Either each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, each opponent sacrifices a creature token, or each opponent sacrifices a planeswalker. So it can be used to take down a planeswalker, or if you really want to get rid of a token, or if you want to make it so your opponents can't sack a token, a meaningless little crappy plant token, to your edict. That's great. And it hits every player. Like that is, well, not every player, obviously, not you, just your opponents. You know what I'm saying though? This is really, really solid as a card. Flavor Tech says, congratulations, I'm entertained. I guess that's what you get for entertaining her, the end of your life. Now, we have a secret layer to discuss. This is called Phyrexian Faves, my friends. And this is a pretty solid lineup, right? It's interesting that you only have cards in particular colors at first, but then you realize that Phyrexia didn't really make a big, interesting showing across all of the colors, especially red because of the whole resistance and Urabrask, all that, right? But you've got Blighted Agent as the blue card, so you've got your unblockable Infect guy. You've got Carrick, Son of Yawgmoth, who's so epic that I did a lore video just on him on this channel a while back. He features very prominently in the Time Stream storyline, and he starts out as a regular Phyrexian sleeper agent and becomes something so much more. A genuine threat to Urza, one of the most powerful planeswalkers of all time. And he did it with his own cunning. He's just such a cool character. And the card itself is incredibly powerful and difficult to come by. So he is like one of the bigger draws for this particular secret lair. After that, you got your Glistener Elf. It's your little 1/1 elf showing what Phyrexia has done to corrupt Mirrodin into new Phyrexia. It's literally just a 1/1 for 1 infect, but because of all the green pump spells, this thing turned into a 1-turn slam your opponent into the poison grave. Like, this card became a big deal for a common. Never would have expected it, but over time, it gained a lot of respect. Then you've got Batterskull. This thing is nutty. It's living Phyrexian weaponry. There's a germ inside there that guides it around. But once that germ dies, you can slap somebody else inside of this, wear this crazy Phyrexian vertebra armor and become a big rampaging crazy beast. And then you got the crown jewel of the secret lair, and that's the Ink Moth Nexus. This is your man land that turns into a land that can poison your opponent. So it turns into a 1/1 flying with infect. This is a really strong card that has just crept up in value over the years, and Wizards has finally found a place where they can effectively reprint it. So this is going to be a very desirable secret lair. I love the flavor of Phyrexia, and speaking of which, go check out the epic lore over on my Fantasy Geographic channel. We already have 7 different installments of the story, and I've got more coming for the next few days as well. So come by, check it out. It's mega epic. Thanks for coming by, my friends. It's nice to spend some time just genuinely enjoying Magic for a change. Big thank you to all my patrons, and I will see you all, my friends, for the next video.